by the opposition, who said, no, this cannot be. So there is this very strong sense in Israel, among many people, across the board, that yes, maybe some things are not going well, maybe there's some indiscipline in the army, but by and large, our boys, and these are the people who are fighting there, are the children and grandchildren of most people in Israel, cannot be involved in this systematic campaign of war crimes and genocide. And unfortunately, the reality is that they are.
So you've just used the word genocide. What has made you change your terminology since we spoke to you much earlier in the war?
So what happened was, in early May 2024, the IDF decided to move into Rafah, into the southernmost city in the Gaza Strip, despite the U.S. telling him not to do so because there were about 1 million displaced civilians there who had been displaced because the IDF told them to go there for their own safety. And the IDF went in anyway and moved those hundreds and hundreds of thousands of civilians one more time. Many of them were displaced by then for a third, fourth, fifth time, to a beach area, to the Mawasi area, which is along the beach, without any infrastructure at all. And then went on, proceeded to destroy much of Rafah, which it's still in the process of doing. So at that point, I started looking back, going back to the statements that were made by Israeli politicians and leaders at the beginning of the war, as you recall, which were genocidal statements, but one could have said were made in the heat of the moment, as the blood was boiling, as they said in Israel, and to look what happened. And if you look at the pattern of what the IDF has been doing, not only has it been moving the population around, and every safe zone that it ends up in tends to get also bombed and shelled and attacked from the air, but also systematically destroying universities, schools, mosques, museums, anything that makes, and hospitals, of course, anything that makes for the health and also the culture of a group. And therefore, by now, we have a population that is being completely debilitated, with vast numbers of people suffering, those who are alive, suffering from skin diseases, from intestinal diseases, lack of food, lack of water. There's been systematic destruction of desalination plants, not enough supply of water coming in from Israel, no energy. And so it looks like that the goal is to make Gaza uninhabitable for its population, and those who survive, the hope, I think, of many Israeli policymakers in this government, which is very right-wing, is that eventually there will be calls for humanitarian aid to those people to remove them from that area, which they cannot live in, to other places, and therefore cleanse it entirely of the Palestinian population.
We've got 30 seconds left. It's quite something that you've been saying just now. Where do you think your words are going to land? What reception, for instance, do you have in the United States, where it's such a polarized conversation?
Well, I mean, it's really hard to say. I have to say that I'm glad to be able to talk about that with you. I think this word has to come out. People have to know. There has been a response in Israel and also in various parts of the United States as such statements that I make are anti-Semitic. I'm obviously not anti-Semitic, and actually care a great deal about the country of Israel. But I'm hoping that more and more people will know that Israel cannot continue proceeding with impunity as it has because of the support that it is receiving from the United States to keep carrying out what it is doing.
Professor Omer Bartov, thank you very much.